Uh, Bonjour, peeps. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page and the morning card draw information live stream. It is Monday, August 20th. Oh my gosh, I saw a truck go by and I thought maybe the construction guys were here. I forgot they could be here this morning. So we're setting the intention that they're not going to show up until after lunch. That's what we're doing. So, you know what? Uh, we're finishing up a sacred geometry class up here at the Star Nations Academy, where I do the live streams from, and so we were kind of laughing. It's like we were a classroom, and then presto changeo. Now it's a broadcasting studio. It's kind of fun, actually. A little adrenaline rush. I'm going to check to make sure that the live stream is working. Oops. All right. It looks like it is. And so while I'm here, I may as well share it, right? So I'm going to share it to my timeline. And we're going to do a quick one. We're just going to say, hey, I'm live streaming. And to please join. Got to be polite. Please join. There we go. And then we're going to send it over to Star Nations Radio Network's closed group. Yeah, that's what I'll do. And so, when I use my phone, I don't know why it's so much easier than when I use my iPad. I don't know why that is. I'm just going to make it simple. I'm live streaming. Please join. There we go. And we're going to share it to the radio network group. Done. Good. All right. Hey, Elise Miller. Good morning to you. Good morning to Marianne if she's watching. Glad you're with me this morning. Taking my first drink of coffee. Yeah. Try to do a little self-care in the mornings. We've been doing NutriBullet. They're not quite smoothies, but they're good for you. And Paul and I used to do them all the time, and then we got out of the habit. Why? Life. It just starts flowing too fast. Yeah. Good morning, Cindy Lynn and Rochelle. Amy Daniels. Good morning. Good morning, Cindy Lynn. Yeah, and I still, every once in a while when I do this piece, it reminds me of Romper Room. One of these days I'm going to bring the handheld mirror with me. I still have one of those. Does anybody else have those? The handheld mirror? Used them a lot when I was younger, when I was a kid. Good morning, Mary Sakowitz. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, Amy. Monday, right? There's still a whole bunch of people that get kind of, they don't like Mondays, especially Monday mornings. I happen not to be one of those people. Yeah, I don't know. For this Monday, it's kind of exciting because this is the last big stretch for the class that I'm teaching, and we're going to be doing something kind of exciting today. So this morning, and so yeah, so the adrenaline's going. Hey, Mary Anderson Fry is here. Yay. Yeah. Good morning, you guys. Now, today's card draw, I have to say that my guides, my spiritual team, they have a good sense of humor, and I love it. I do. They keep me laughing, much like this morning. You know how we talk about synchronicities and nothing happens by coincidence and that kind of thing? And yesterday's card draw really fit what we were covering yesterday in the class. Well, it's no different this morning. And wait till you see this first card. And remember, the first card is in the layout. It sits on the right-hand side, and so it carries the male energy. So bringing it in through those senses, through the logic and the thinking mind. So, whoops, wrong one. It's this one. Okay. It's Metatron's cube. And I was standing up, shuffling the cards, right? I had just lit the candle on the altar and lit some sage and did some smudging. And I did my intention for the card draw. I start shuffling, and the card literally pops out of the deck and pops out. When it popped out of the deck, it literally flew toward. I have this fabric flag that has the Flower of Life, Metatron's cube, and the star tetrahedron or the Merkaba on it. And the card literally flew in that direction, and landed face down. And so when I flipped it over, it's Metatron's cube. So I had to kind of laughed and thanks Metatron for kicking out that card toward the flag where the Metatron cube is on the flag. So yeah, and Metatron's cube is all about creation, right? Because it carries the 5 platonic solids, the building blocks of all life. Yeah. And Metatron is an archangel, and many of you already know about him, right? That he was Enoch in his physical life here on earth, and let's say he led his life very well here on earth, and as a gift, right, the Creator, God, granted him to be an archangel and gave him one of his many attributes is about creation. And Metatron and I, we've worked together for a long time because he's also helps with space clearing, removing obstacles. And so, yeah, so we like Metatron a lot. Very thankful. And in reading what Francine Hart has to say about this particular card and the sacred geometry, is that she says that this is a place at which female and male energies join to create something entirely new. This is kind of cool. All right. So this is what else she has to say about it. She says, by beginning with the 13 female circles from the fruit of life, which lies right in the center of this, right? And connecting every center with a straight line, which is male, a shape known as Metatron cubes appears. And with the platonic solids, and she calls them the cosmic volumes. I like that. She says that you can see how the joining of the male and female energies creates substance and form. And so when we are saying our prayers or manifesting, or we say we're sending it out into the universe, that's where we're sending it. We're sending it through Metatron's cube, because that's where the platonic solids are. And that's where the formless begin to take form in that creation. And it's all that alchemical stuff. She says that if we've chosen this card, you're asked to see how substance and form are working in your life and view them as aspects of male and female cooperation. It represents a time of balancing the yin and the yang of your inner life to promote harmony and creativity. And who doesn't want more of that? I do. Especially the creativity part, because for me that's where a lot of joy and fun. As Cindy Lynn is saying, LOL romper room again. I know every time I say, welcome, or one of these days it's going to be, I see Cindy Lynn and I see Elise and I see Rochelle, right, in the mirror. Yeah, I do. Cindy goes, I love that when it happens. And good morning, Jacqueline. I'm glad you're with us. And Francesca, oh, I love your name, Francesca. I'm going to say it all together, okay? Francesca Maria Antoinetta Marone. Now, I don't know if I pronounced your last name.
Francesca Marone.
Francesca Marone. Okay, it's a good thing somebody speaks Italian, right? Maroni. All right. Love that name. It's just like Mary Anderson Fry. I always have to say Mary's whole name too, because it's very lyrical, right? I like it. So, for those who are just joining us, this is the card that was drawn this morning, the first one, Metatron's Cube. And Francine Hart, who is the author, asks us to take a look at how substance and form is working in our life, to look at it from the male and female cooperation. How's that going? She says that Metatron's cube is a metaphor for all problem solving, not only in the third dimensional reality, but also in all the other dimensions, which is good because there's a lot of us that are either going between the third and the fourth, or we are in the fourth, and there's some of us that are in the fourth and sliding into the fifth. And so it's good to know, right? It's good to know that Metatron is here with us, helping us to problem solve no matter what dimension we're in. She also says by joining, let's see, this card also represents the relationship you have with others, and how by joining through substantive action, you form community. And that's why she puts the essence of this card with the word community. So we're coming together from many different facets. We're coming together to form something called a community. And I kind of like that because here at Star Nations, we have certainly done that. We come from all over the world to meet at Star Nations, whether it's for the live stream shows or the magazine or the classes or the books. There are many avenues to come into the Star Nations community. The community itself, though, we're very supportive of each other, don't you think? You know, when something comes up, all we have to do is make a post and ask for prayers, whether it's for prayers for healing or prayers for, I'm going for a new job, I could use, an extra support. And also the good things. When something good happens to us, like you got a promotion or you just self-published your first book, those kinds of things, we're also there for each other and giving you the high five and saying, no, you could do it, kind of cheerleading each other, right? Yeah. Jacqueline is sending a lot of hearts because Cindy Lynn and her, they're very good friends. They call themselves the twins, sisters of the heart, right? And so I like that when you guys do that interaction in the chat room. You can feel the love flowing there. Elise said that is also a grid used for stones and crystals. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you use stones and crystals and make the grid system using sacred geometry, I strongly suggest that you have a really good, clear intention and it's coming from your heart, okay? Because it's a very powerful joining of crystal and the sacred geometry, because within the crystals themselves, just like everything else, has sacred geometry, right? And so to have a really clear intention for the purpose of the grid. Yeah, because it's what I call big medicine, because you're also including your energy, your spirit is also going into that creation. It's kind of like sacred geometry with Metatron's cube, the image, and then you have the sacred geometry in the crystals, and then you have the sacred geometry within your own spirit, and so you have at least 3 layers of sacred geometry there. And it could be many more layers in there that we're not even aware of. And so to have a clear intention is a good thing. Yeah. Hey, Mary Summer just joined us. Hello, Mary. Rochelle says, I need positive energy and prayers. I'm having an endoscope and colonoscopy on Wednesday. Okay, we can do that. We can send you some love and some healing light and a prayer for optimal health in all your bodies. Right? We can certainly do that. Call it done. Done, because we have the altar here is lit, and I've used some white sage this morning, and so we're prepared for that. You can consider it done, Rochelle. Prayer has been said. All right, so for this card, remember it goes in that first position, which is on the right hand side, and it's about taking in the information through our thoughts and our mental mind, absorbing it that way, because the next card is carries the female energies, and that's how Francine has designed her cards for this particular kind of draw. Is that we have the balance of the male and female energies in the information. So when we receive the information, we're bringing it in its wholeness, right? And so that's WHOLE in its wholeness. And so the second card, I think you'll like the artwork on this one, is called Offering. It's called Offering. And it's about creative development. Isn't that pretty? Because you have the flower of life in the background, right? And the image has their heart on their hand. It's offering. I like the colors on there too. They kind of look like chakra colors in the layout, wouldn't you say? All right. So here is what Francine has to say. All right. Well, first of all, let's get caught up in the chat room because everybody's talking here. Elise said, if you use it in your garden, I think the stones work better as they are closer to the earth. Yes. The crystals feel more at home there, right? Because that's their natural environment. And if they're going to be doing that kind of work for you, let's put them in the best place possible for them, right? Yeah. And Elise is also saying that it's easier. It's like the easiest test ever, Rochelle. Oh, she's talking to Rochelle. Okay. Well, that's good. Kind of eases the mental mind about that, right? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So here is the image again. And here's what Francine has to say about it. She says that the geometry of the flower of life and colors and positioning of the human chakras in the illustration suggests that you are in a stage of creative development. I like that. Stage of creative development. And that you may have the experience of receiving information that is beyond the realm of rational thought. Beyond the realm of rational thought. And that is also called channeling. She says, listen and record the messages and information you receive in whatever form that appeals to you. So whether you're writing it using, longhand or using a computer, or maybe recording it, whether it's just your voice or a video, those messages that are coming to you, right? She also says that you may not be able to give form to some of what you receive. Some of the information entering consciousness at this time is coming in a multi-dimensional levels and has as yet no material means of expression. Now remember, when Francine wrote this, it was probably, when she was writing it was probably 1999, possibly 2000, because it was published in 2001. All right, think about that for a moment. and where we are today. It's still relevant today because the information that's coming through is even at a higher octave or frequency. And so we may have found a way to explain, the verbiage, the language that was coming through in early 2000s. We may have the language for that right now because it has evolved, right? But in the present moment, the information that is still coming through is also coming through at a higher frequency. And so we may be receiving it, and we may still be in the same situation where we can't really explain it to somebody because we don't have the language for it yet. Does that make sense? So when you are in meditation, or when you've received a nudge from your guides, and you're thinking, and you're going, what? Huh? How am I supposed to do that? Or explain that to me because I don't quite understand it. That's our mental mind trying the logical approach, right? And it's okay to do that. And this is what I do. When I find myself doing that, what I do is I take a breath and I said, okay, help me to absorb it through my heart, through my emotions, my feelings. And I might not have the words for it, but I know I'm feeling it. So your languaging will catch up to that. One day you'll be doing something completely unrelated and then a word will come to you, or a phrase will come to you, and then you realize, oh, that goes with that feeling that I didn't quite understand. And so you get another level, another layer, they're saying, another layer of understanding. I like this card. We could talk for a couple hours just on this card alone. We're not going to do that, but we could. She also says that it's an important period to bring forth your dreams and inspirations and freely offer them to the world as your gifts to the healing of the planet. Still relevant. We're still doing this as energy workers and light workers. We're still doing this, right? So the second card in the card draw, in the layout, is in the female energy. And so taking it in through your feelings and your emotions, through your heart. What do these two cards have to do together, right? What do these two have to do together? This one, the Metatron cube, she called community. And the other one was offering. So it's possible that the information that we receive from Spirit, that comes through our gifts, that we can express through our gifts, right? Maybe it's about walking the red road because we're using our gifts in a good way from our hearts for our community. And Metatron is helping us to do that as we create. We create whatever it is using our gifts. I like that. I like that a lot. So what are you doing with your gifts in that creation? And how does it benefit or add to your community? Whether it's Star Nation's community or whether it's your community where you live, and really just to notice it. Notice it. And if you're not adding to your community, that's another insight, right? That's another insight. Maybe that's about soul growth. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and Cindy Lynn saying you get another piece of the puzzle too. Yep. That's true. And so eventually you get enough pieces that you start seeing the picture, right? It starts making sense at least to your mental mind. Um, and your intuition when you're looking at those pieces coming in and getting, and they're starting to fit in, and then all of a sudden you're not even done with the puzzle, and you already know, because it's your intuition getting plugged in. Yeah. Yeah, I like it too. I do. So I know I did that in less than 30 minutes. Less than 30 minutes. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast for you guys. I know it would be too fast for my mom. She wouldn't be, she'd still be back in the second sentence I said, because of the hearing aids, right? And this is completely off topic, mentioning hearing aids and listening. Um, I have learned so much about hearing loss because of my mom's situation, her experience. I did not know, and I don't know, maybe you guys did. I did not know that when our brain doesn't hear or doesn't see certain words, certain phrases, it's like we lose the recognition of that word. And so when I realized, when the specialist was telling us about this, I asked him. I said, "Is that like kind of like learning a foreign language? If it's not your first language and you're learning a language and you don't use it, you lose it, right? You don't remember the words, and you hear a word and you think, I think I remember that one, and it is similar, but for a hearing loss, that if they don't hear the word, they literally don't recognize it at all. It's like you're speaking a foreign language to them. And so when somebody's listening to you and they don't recognize a word, the sentence doesn't make any sense. And so they're trying to figure out what you're saying, and then you go on to the next sentence, and they're still back on that one sentence that they don't get. And so for elderly people, that is, we think that they're not hearing well. They're hearing your voice. What they're not doing is doing the word recognition. And that was a whole nother layer of understanding for me. And so looking for synonyms, words that she will recognize, right? What gets bad, though, is when I have a menopausal moment and I can't think of the word. And so then we start laughing about it because she knows what I'm doing, and so she's waiting for the next word, right? And we just start laughing. For instance, I asked her, this was a few weeks ago, I asked her if she wanted some coleslaw. We were having supper, and she didn't recognize the word, and I couldn't think of the word cabbage. And it's a good thing I could reach over to the table and grab the coleslaw. And I said, would you like some? And she said, oh, cabbage. But she didn't recognize the word coleslaw. And so it turned into, a fun moment. But I don't know. I have a few minutes. So, I just wanted to, it's totally off topic. Yeah. Rochelle, she says, your mom is a sweetheart. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She has been a real trooper this weekend. She's handled a lot of her schedule. I try to keep it the same as much as I can, but she was really been a trooper for it. So yeah. So anyway, any of the information that you've heard today with the card draw, the drill. If it resonated with you, hold on to it, embrace it. See how it unfolds for you today. And I like to say that when it's unfolding for you, notice if you are a direct participant or if you're bearing witness to it. Either case, it's a part of your life lesson. It's about learning from it, right? Yeah. And if it doesn't resonate with you and you're thinking, what the heck is she talking about? It's okay. It's not for you. Possibly you're the messenger, and all you have to do is share the video with somebody that comes to mind, and your deed is done. As I tell my husband, be a good deed doer when he's going off to work. It may not be for you, but maybe you know somebody who's looking for the information. And holy cat, you guys are right. I got to catch up with them. Hang on. Amy says, thank you, Neshi. Love the cards today. Very interesting regarding hearing loss. Dealing with that with my mom, still think that there's a little selective hearing going on. Yeah, those are two different things, Amy. And you're right, there is selective hearing. Of course, we do the same thing, right? Cindy is saying, it's hard for me to think and talk during fibro flare-ups, and everything becomes hand me this or that, or yeah, it's frustrating and hard, but there are also funny moments. Yeah, and sometimes if we can't laugh at it, then yeah, then we're really having problems if we can't stop and laugh at something about it. Yeah, I know, it's so funny, isn't it, Amy? I mean, I couldn't think of the word. It's a good thing I had the prop there, that they had the real thing. And Mary Anderson Fry is saying, I'll be getting hearing aids soon, and I can hardly wait. Well, good for you, Mary. Good for you. And being able to hear things that you haven't heard in a while, I would imagine. Those subtle sounds. Sometimes it's the bird singing or a child's voice sometimes, depending on what range of hearing loss that you have. If you're sometimes their voices have a higher pitch to it, and so many people with hearing loss don't hear a child's voice, right? Good. Yeah, and Rochelle has hearing aids too. Oh, Rochelle, her hearing aids make her ears itch. Okay, I don't know why I find that funny, but I do. Sorry, Rochelle. All right, with that, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we will see you tomorrow morning for the card draw. And until then, Bama Mina, until we see each other again. Love you guys.